be to each and every one of you. right. Woodman's in the house.
Hello, hello, hello.
What is going on, everybody?
Hello, hello, hello. Michael, yes, sir.
I haven't shaven. I'm waiting on a new razor, actually. I got for my birthday last month, but it was actually a whole month behind. It was one of these razors off of Shark Tank.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like a last one I'll ever have to buy. It's an insert blade, and I've been waiting on it, and I'm not shaving till it comes. I'm like Woodman.
Yep, I have no worries for me.
Burning beard.
Burning beard,
In the
yeah.
house. So didn't you get some mail when you first got here?
Sure did, Mike, yep.
Do
Sure did.
you want to say anything?
Well, I didn't see...
Didn't grab it, did we? We didn't
No.
bring it up. He tucked it away in his car because he's been waiting a month to get the one package from our mod face, which now he's a deplorable orange.
And I appreciate it also. And the card. The card was sent by who, Mike?
I'm going to have to go get that stuff. I'm going to have to go get it. So we'll maybe run down and get it here in a minute. I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to put Woodman up. Look at that. Boom.
There we go.
Looking good. Looking real good.
Alrighty.
All right, so we're trying out some of the new, and I know that light's in the way for those texts. Look at that. You can barely see it against that white.
Oh, yeah.
But if I do this, this is where it was intended to be. All right, it starts right at the top of the light, like it's coming out of the light. That's pretty cool.
Looks really good, yeah.
All right, so we're just kind of haven't done a live show. Oh, wow, we got about 300 in the room. Welcome, Patriots, far and wide. We got probably a lot of you on maybe a break right now. Merry Christmas to all of you. We're getting that. Connie Welkart, Merry Christmas. Mike and Woodman. Somebody asked where Ben was. I believe he's kind of tied up today. I know I sent him a text. We talked earlier. We were both kind of had some stuff to do, and then I got back here. Woodman was here pretty quick, and we just jumped on. So he needed to come get some mail anyway. So yeah, if you guys want to send, Ben got a card as well. So I got a card to give Ben. The P.O. Box, send here to me, the Patriot Hour. I mean, things that you guys send typically are you'll see it. There's some things that I haven't got around, but I've been bad on the mail call. There's been so much news breaking, and that's the main point of this channel. Everything else, I mean, of course, it wouldn't be a channel without the Patriots, so we're always gracious for anything you send, and we're always going to take the time, but there'll be plenty of time to go over a lot of that stuff soon. It's just the most important thing is the mission, which is the news and making sure that we get that out, the truth to you guys.
The truth.
That's the main point. So there's times, welcome to Tier 2 support, Jim Stowicki.
All right, fantastic.
Thank you so much, brother. We got Darren Carson. We got some mods in here. I don't know. I'll take a minute to look here. Again, folks, we're just kind of having an easy Monday. We'll get into a couple things here. Yeah, awesome. I wanted to say real quick. So there is a possibility with the whole impeachment thing. Just been digging into it, as I'm sure as a bunch of you have, or at least hearing it all over the different media sites. But it's interesting because if I've been reading some stuff, and some pretty smart historians are coming out even and saying, like, if you wrote up charges in the beginning that didn't cover one of the 4 ways that he can be impeached, and you can't be broad with that, that this could go to the Supreme Court, like around the Senate, before you go to the Senate. And if they found the grounds of it in that arena down there, which was the Congress,
Right.
and it wasn't any kind of, it was like non-bar, it was like no Republicans voted, and actually 3 Democrats voted against it. So it was all Democratic support. They have the majority, but it doesn't matter if you get the paperwork to go through. If the basis of it, again, we kind of keep talking about these raw facts that exist. Even when you look at the transmissions possibly coming in, we're doing some garage talk, but on the impeachment, we'll go one thing at a time. Interesting that that could be the case. So this stain possibly could be thrown out. And at that point it happened, all this stuff happened. It wouldn't be like, well, Trump was impeached for a week. No, the paperwork hasn't gone through yet to actually be impeached. to that next level. So
Right.
it's kind of weird situation. I mean, I know Q went over it. We broke that down, and there's already facts coming out that Senate is kind of in a held up position. That would be the point. If you can't do anything more, if you have the impeachment, and you have a trial going on, that's the only thing you're supposed to focus on. And I don't know about right now in this standpoint where Pelosi's holding it. Does Congress get to maneuver around because they haven't gotten anything? Like, do they just go about business because they haven't received anything? But the minute you get impeachment papers, that everything stops.
I think it was just a publicity thing. They had to get it out in the public's eye, which they did over and over and over again. And like Mike just said, he's not being impeached yet. I mean, they haven't even done the formalities to actually go through that. But they've got it out there in public, out there through the news, and everybody's seen it. They're not going to forget. Once you hear things over the news over and over and over again, it tends to stick. That's my opinion.
Well, and that's all the left has had. So it doesn't matter I saw a collage put together on, I think it was YouTube most likely, or maybe it was on one of the social medias sites that is showing me this clip of all the pundits on CNN, and throughout that day or two, the next 2 days, they just, well, bottom line is he's impeached. He's got that mark now. That's all that matters. Forever is he tainted. And that's almost like what they, I mean, when Nancy read off the numbers, they started cheering, and she had to do that wave with her hand to, no, we're supposed to be sad, remember? It's a solemn day, whatever they wanted to portray. But yet the whole party wanted to throw the party right there on the floor of, but she had to do the hand wave, no, not until we're out in the back, off camera.
Calm down, she says.
Yeah.
Calm down.
So, we got another member. That's right. Crazy.
Fantastic.
Or top chats. Welcome to Tier 1, MS Parky. Or am I seeing that? Nuss Parky? Nuss Parky.
All right.
Thank you guys. So yeah, that's an interesting point there, Woodman. If that is the case, so Nancy's holding it. I mean, you saw the cartoon thing I put out yesterday.
Yeah.
I didn't make that, by the way, you guys. That's great stuff. Somebody's like, oh, I see you're redoing this. I found that to be hilarious. I put the link down below to the original source file that I found it from. Awesome stuff. Support them, whatever you do. I mean, it's sometimes you got to have a little laugh with all of it. It's all work, no play. I saw the other video I put out. People were like, this is disgusting to Trump. He would never say those words. You are probably correct. But guess what? Trump, if you take a look at his Twitter, he has reposted some pretty vicious stuff that he's been attacked for. I mean, he did the one with the wrestling, hitting all the people on the head, and it was CNN squares, and it was like fighting fake news and knocking them out. He took a lot of wrath over that. And he's done some more things. It's not for everybody. Let's put it that way. 98% of the time here, it is legit, good information. I do troll a little bit myself. I like some of the funnier things. After weeks of digging into some of the darker angles, I have to unwind. I have to sometimes just tune it off as well, folks. So
you have to.
But I appreciate all the comments. So don't hey. Some of the greatest videos I've come out with are because of the trolls, because of the bad comments. They're not understanding an angle, and that's what I typically get out of the negative comments is something that they're not understanding. They don't even get it. So that helps me get a fire under me to go create some video on a certain angle, and then you guys are like, this is awesome. So it works out for all of us. Okay, so 475. This is great. You guys must be a lot of people. What time is it? Going on 3 o'clock on a Monday. I'm taking it a lot of you aren't into the retail Christmas season shopping or, working in retail. All right, so headlines. Let's take a look around. Anything else what have you been seeing in the last 24 hours or so, Woodman?
Popcorn.
Popcorn, just a bunch of...
Oh, come on. If you pay attention, I know a lot of people don't dig like we do, but if you pay attention, you take all them little breadcrumbs and put them together, and pretty soon you'll have a loaf of bread. It's amazing. It does take a lot of time. you know, and I know people that work don't have time to dig like that, but we do. It baffles my mind sometimes how deep it goes. And it's so deep they can't hide it. That's the problem. If Hillary would have won, nothing would have come out like this.
That was the whole point.
You know it. You know it.
That was totally an unexpected win for Hillary. So that sent them in a quick scramble. They didn't have a lot of time. If you think about the time from the election, what is it, November 8th? Is it the 8th or the 6th? Every 4, the 6th or the 8th? Why am I having a brain? But we'll say the 8th. Sounds good.
I was thinking the 3rd, but
Is it? It could be the 3rd, the 6th, the 8th. Somebody tell me that date. But think about it. That unexpectedly blow to the deep state, to the cabal, sent them in a 3-month scramble. They only had like 3 months, Woodman, right? I mean, 3 months from November till January 20th to get all kinds of extra things in play before a lot of them were leaving office. But they needed this insurance, this next step, because they created such a mess, and they weren't going to be in power no more. So that threw a whole little wrench in their plan, and they didn't get to. I mean, now we got Durham criminally investigations zero in on Brennan, his communications with Comey. They're looking to get all phone records, all memos, all digital transmission.
exactly.
So we'll see what kind of coordination. While they say in the open, no, I know nothing. And then way back then, this isn't good that this Carter Page worked for the CIA. Should we just admit it? Maybe that's sitting there raw with a question mark. And Comey's like, yeah, admit it. Omit it. Take it out. And that's, wow, Comey, all your last 2 years going around. Well, sometimes you gotta, break the rules to, we're going to have to hear him spin that crap, which I'm not looking forward to. I mean, this is a problem, folks, when you let criminals run around for 2 more years. They look at go to the guy that actually has evidence on him in court and how he screams he's innocent still. Footage is doctored. I wasn't me robbing the gas station. These people will admit they're not guilty even while they're sitting in their cell. So we don't expect Comey to put his hands out and say, yeah, arrest me. It's not going to happen that way.
Well, especially at that level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not talking about some kind of writing a bad check. You're,
yeah, and he's starting to spin it. We see how he was like, how dare everyone attack the foundation of the FBI and the overall 37,000 people. No, it was you and like 3 other people were pointing our fingers at that guy.
Yeah, the department is doing a great job. I mean, that's all there is to it. They really are.
Well,
but
we talked about like how that transmission came into their office. And of course, there were some few people on this side of that office that did some bad things, and that was, talked about. But
right,
if you give the low man, at any police station, some faulty evidence up here, like, look, we think, go arrest this guy or go do something. And they're like, yeah. And they go do everything by the book. They knock on the door. The guy answers. They read him his right. I mean, you can argue how great that was. And we probably agree with you. But it's like, by the way, did you know that the paperwork you got, blah, 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 was all fabricated and lied? What? And it's like, I never should have arrested him then. Well, how would you have known that?
Right.
These are the things for the courts. And again, folks, I tell everyone, it is a slow process. The wheels of justice are really slow, especially in the federal government. Even in the military itself, it's like the common thing through all branches is hurry up and wait. Go get in line somewhere to do something. You got to hurry up, get there. But man, you're going to wait forever to get it done, to be talked to get your issue dealt with. But this is so abnormal what's going on. I mean, there's no way that
it's unheard of.
Yeah, this isn't, for anyone to act like this is just business as usual. This is not how the transitions go from Clinton, from Reagan to Clinton, from Clinton to Bush, from Bush to Obama. There's never been this a solid 3.5 year, going on 4. They're going to try to take this all the way up to the election if they could, of smearing somebody to the point, and it's not just bad talk and this and that. It's like they are making up stuff, and now to this impeachment thing where they were left high and dry and they didn't really have a crime, and they did it anyway because that's how back up against the wall they are. They got no other option.
Well,
it's either get rid of him or there's things that are going to really be bad for a lot of them.
Right on. Yeah. They've been trying to impeach him for any kind of reason since he became president, and that's a well-known fact. So, they don't like the guy. He doesn't belong in that little group. He doesn't have an executive key to the washroom. We was talking about that before,
Yeah.
He doesn't belong in that little teeny weeny umbrella. He's not one to be having his hand out, pay me this and I'll be quiet. That's what he's tearing it all down, and all these people that are intertwined are going down too. Praise the Lord for that.
So so everyone understands a little better with exactly what happened here. So the process, and if you work for a corporation, if you work for Walmart, if you worked for any corporation, and you had some misdoings, and it's an internal thing. Sometimes these places have like an internal person that'll come through and look, especially government or police stations. That's where you get into the internal, internal affairs, which is it's exactly what it says, internal things that are happening with inside affairs. And it could be crimes, and that's a police looking at the police. All right. So that's what IG Horowitz was. He was DOJ looking at the DOJ, a facet of it, the FBI. So he, how do you put that on paper? And again, these aren't criminal trials. They talk to people. They took people's words. When things didn't add up, he would mark that down. No, I didn't really. He admitted he didn't get good answers for the 17 errors. So this all goes overseas, which we're going to find out because that transmission from the foreign federal government came in from the Australians. We know Brennan, Clapper, all them were over there muffling around, Musfed, these bad actors setting up people like Papadopoulos. Who's talking over there? Who's Durham talked to so far in the last couple years? This has led them all over. So it's going to be interesting to find out that it was all orchestrated over there. Things were planned. I mean, if things naturally would have happened with Papadopoulos and somebody came up to him and offered him Russia's stuff, that would be one thing. But when you make that happen, that's the crime, and for a specific purpose as well. So to have somebody literally, you're already being tapped, looked at by this, the system, everything's pointing at you, if you can imagine, and then you go orchestrate something, and that's what they've gotten back to. And then talking to that guy, did you just come up with this on your own? You're laying in bed one night and you just decided you're going to start this huge thing with the U.S. and make a lie? No, I was directed by who? Clapper or somebody. It's going to lead, and it's going to come back to some communications that that Clapper might have not had on the books. He might have not picked up a phone and did this. And that's going to be the question where it comes down to the guy that's ratting on Brennan, and it makes sense. It's logic, or Clapper. And they're not going to have maybe that file, or that phone call's missing. We're not going to get it. They don't have it. They can't find it. Oh, it got destroyed. We lost it. Or he truly did it off the books because he really didn't want that last key piece of evidence on him. And but it's going to be real bad. It's going to point real bad. So now at that point, once we get that proven, once that's all in the light, once that's all into the courts, that makes everything now involved moving forward, folks. If you have a crooked start, the whole shit house you built on top of it doesn't stand. It does, that led to the Mueller investigation, 2 years. I mean, all this money spent. The dossier was paid and written, bad information from the DNC, from Hillary. The Carter Page stuff to go along with it. That guy worked for the CIA. I mean, the FBI took this guy, got him wrapped up into a court case on accident in 2013 when they were looking at doing the real jobs back in 2013. Some Russian guy shows up at some art gallery or energy conservation, sale. Carter Page is there on his own behalf because he's getting into this game in the world. And this Russian guy hits him up. There you go, I'm an actual spy. And Carter Page takes it to the CIA. FBI is watching this Russian guy. They pick up Carter Page in that. They take this Russian and a couple of other, oligarchs to court. Two guys flee. The one guy gets hemmed up. Carter Page walks free because during these court trials and pressing him, they find out he works for the CIA. So they knew that back in 2013 through a different court case.
Right.
Move forward to 2016, they're hitting him up on the same Russia stuff. And he's like, I work for the CIA. They call over there and get this, does he work for you? And they're like, yeah, well, we highly encourage you to look at your own evidence and court papers from 2013 in a previous case where you hemmed him up and you found that out. But yeah, he does. We'll remind you again. Yes. And then they omit that. They omit that from the paperwork because it's bad.
Yep.
So you don't just do that if somebody, if your true evidence leads to something. So it's a slow play, folks. It's unfortunate, but for the history books, you have to have Horowitz involved. Otherwise, if you went around them, they'd be screaming that they're not following protocol. Hell, these leakers go to get something to leak on Trump and they can't find it. Then they bitch that he's putting it on a private server on the White House. That's all that means when you hear them bitching and screaming on TV, is that they couldn't find the damn thing to leak it themselves. So now they scream that he moved it and hid it, and you're obstructing us from leaking. That's basically what you're hearing. Do you think Trump comes in one morning and just says, I'm going to put stuff on a private server? He's probably being guided by military intelligence at that point. Mr. Trump, you've had a leak every day in your first year in office. Why don't we do something about that? He doesn't have a right to do that. The media is not calling out the leakers. They take the information, they run with it. When the first thing is it's illegal. But sometimes the information outweighs, and that's what they say every day that there was a leak. This information outweighs the importance of it being, you broke the law. How many people, So, they're also, Durham's looking at the last 3 months of Obama's administration, which is right when Trump won, all the crazy crap that was going on for the 3 months. Totally outside. The man on his last day in office, signs an executive order to open up all the intelligence agencies and how they all share information. But he didn't operate that way for 8 years under his own guys because it was bad. But he did it then because he had people planted. They all had this leaks planned. And it was going to make it harder for the intelligence agencies, oversight people, to figure out who's doing what and who's leaking where. That's why he set it up that way. So you see this whole planning going on. Now, we all know this. The problem is that most people don't know this. So when you get into this information, folks, and you're like, nobody's going down, I haven't seen any arrest yet. The arrest will only come after we hear. They can quickly, we can wake up and people get arrested and then the charges or crime, typically they'll bail out or whatever, like with the mob back in the day. But the amount of evidence they have on each person isn't just going to be like, we don't know, we hope we can convict them, we hope we get the win. It's overwhelming evidence that they're getting. So it'll be the nail in the coffin on many of them. But and the story is not over. If they're still investigating, they're just still finding out more names, more charges, more crimes. But logically, it's like, we know when Trump got in, Trump doesn't have handcuffs. He couldn't come in, point to Comey at the time, who's Comey, go arrest Hillary. Well, why? I just freed her. You saw me last 6 months ago. Name off all of her charges, but we're not going to do it. So it has to be a logical thing here, folks. With each little court case, and that Rosemary Collier from the FISA, she already. I was baffled when I went to the website yesterday where she releases stuff from their office for the FISAs and all this stuff stacked in there. If you go all the way back to 2017 articles or D-Class, it labels how Obama was abusing the query system under their administration leading up to the election. So, it's like it's already been figured out. It's already been labeled bad. It just seems like a complete, total blackout from the media on reporting about it. And we're bringing it out. This whole point is to get this into the minds, the masses. So when the arrests do come, you understand why. Because we don't want people to flip out. So it's not about you awake patriots out there. And this show isn't all about showing you some arrests. That's going to be glorious, of course, when it happens. But it's about getting the people that don't understand it to be ready. So, because they know by arresting some of these favorite people of everybody that it can create some civil unrest. So you want as least amount of people, because and some of you out there don't care. Yeah, bring it on. I'm ready to fight my neighbor. I hate him anyway. That's not the point. The country's already been destroyed somewhat. you don't want to destroy it anymore. And if the mass amount of people are programmed, been propagated, Trump's got, if you're doing this whole plan and looking at every angle of it, you would understand like the end result is, and these poor people down here are all just brainwashed. So you don't come in to take down this system over here and then have half the population end up dead or hurt or messed up.
Right.
It would be very unsuccessful. And plus, the whole point is keep have a country to be sovereign and keep going, not to wipe it out. Right. That's what the other side was shooting for. Division, keeping everyone, so I don't know. You guys figure that out. Logically, arrests come after charges, after we, are we there yet? Well, it seems like this FISA, we got Mike Rogers working with the Trump people. There's really intelligent people that knew things. This is really bad. The FISA court she did step down. I know they're appointing this new Obama holdover guy. What was his name? Not Rogers. A well-known guy up on this in the courts. You guys might know that. I can't remember the name. It's just not sticking in my head for a minute here. But she brought out a lot of damaging stuff already against the last administration leading up. They're demanding all kinds of stuff. They called it criminal that the FBI lied to us and we made decisions based off lies. I mean, that is criminal. Comey calls it sloppiness. Even Horowitz said he didn't know if it was intentful or gross negligence. Either one of those are really, that's the only two ways out sometimes with this kind of stuff is gross negligence, which should have been Hillary. He's hoping somebody or himself can change the narrative again like he did with Hillary when he was in charge. It's just funny with that. That guy single-handedly was all involved in Hillary's. So much so that he came out and did a press conference when he wasn't supposed to and cleared her. That's how much he was involved. For the Trump one, for this other one, he was like, hey, us upper personnel, we don't have a lot of hands-on. I mean, but you did for this other one just months before, and then it seems like you're all over this one by signing some FISAs and stuff, buddy. And if not, you should have been to make sure it was being handled right. Either way, you're in charge. The responsibility comes down on you. That's how that stuff works.
Well, come on now, sloppy. Give me a break.
That's him looking at the words like you were being charged with gross negligence. He's like, So I'm being charged with sloppiness. He's trying to change everyone's opinion.
You know it. Yeah.
There you go. That's wizardry. Right there. Wizardry 101.
Dude, hey, look, Mike, you do that in the military. You go ahead and do anything like that at all. Sloppy?
Yeah.
No excuse, man.
That's like Elvis Presley's doctor, when they had him up on the court. It's like, is this your signature here? And he's like, I do not recall. It was his plausible deniability to not go down as like, man, you gave Elvis a lot of drugs he shouldn't have had. And, I don't know if that's my signature or not.
Prove it.
Prove it. And it's like, well, sign here, right here for me. And that guy would be like, oh, yeah, let me see that Elvis one again. Okay, I'll make sure I do not sign it like that.
Crazy.
Funny. We say Merry Christmas, Patriots, far and wide. Much love from Phoenix, Arizona. Keegan Simmons. Much love to you.
All right. Happy holidays for everybody, man. Merry Christmas. Not with an X either.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas.
We are just hanging out. Let me bring up the web interface. We'll take some comments. So I'm going to bring them up on the big screen. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
I'll keep that up there. Teleportation, time travel, stargates do exist. Maybe. I got your Xmas gift today, Michael. Yes. Thank you. Jonna from the Berlin family.
All right.
Susan Hope, Bush Sr., McStain, we're on the down low. That's right. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. I'll just leave it. Wow. Right here. How did it get to this point? Good question, Rebel. A lot of people not paying attention. Too much of work, too much busy, too much sports, too much fun, too much partying. Anons before Q and QAnons after. That was great.
Yeah.
Busy.
Oh yeah.
Everyone's gonna have their own excuses. Mike, why is writing it Xmas an issue? I don't see it that way. Some others definitely do. It's just corporate taking out the Christ from miss, maybe. I mean, right?
That's what
It's just, I don't. I know I've used that before.
I don't.
The reason I've used that before is because it's been put into my mind, I guess, because of store signs and whatnot. You started seeing that. Well, then, when I worked for, when I was in the service and working for Sony part-time, wow. We had to answer the phones a certain way. The manager was, hey, don't say Merry Christmas, say Happy Holidays. And I was like, what? What's going on? This weird, it's America. And it was like, well, they're this kind of company. I was like, I get it, but they're here. And like, our customers are from here. We're here. It's owned by Japan. But, so it was like, that's where they're telling us that has gone bad. A lot of these corporations, like Walmart, are 80%, 90% China shit. So is China telling them certain things? And that's where we start getting this communistic heartbeat in the country, is because of the people doing everything. That's most likely why.
Well, they took prayer out of church or out of schools. No more pledge of allegiance. Of course, now some schools do that, which I think is really fantastic. They're slowly trying to get rid of any kind of religious thought or being, and that's it's the only way they can pull off what they got going. It's all corrupt. It's all satanic. Believe it or not, you're either on God's side or you're not, and if you're not, you're on
think about it
side. Yeah.
If you kind of think about it and how they like to pervert things. I mean, you can say what you want, and I wouldn't oppose somebody that tells me Merry Xmas, but the X is kind of an X over the Christ. I mean, it's like you took out the Christ and you put an X.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Yeah. I mean, no, that's not what they mean. Maybe not, but you can look at it different ways. Sub Intel, Harvey Weinstein, Elon Musk, Lucid Dreamer. Busy raising family and making a living. Thank God I woke up. Yes.
Airborne.
Merry Christmas at Fluid Pour Art by Greg. Is he up in here? There he is.
Oh, yeah.
Fluid Pour.
Oh, yeah. He's always there. Fantastic. And we'll get to see him again, too, in August.
Yeah. Yeah, commercialization involved. Throat punch troll much.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Let me see here. I wanted to look at a few more headlines. So we have, like I said, they are calling for Durham criminal investigation zeroed in on Brennan Communications. They're wanting it all, and that's going to be just great. Senate goes on judge approval binge. 1 in every 4th Circuit Court judge is now Trump appointee. 1 in every 4 Circuit Court judges now Trump appointee.
You know it.
Senate Republicans may not be in a hurry to schedule an impeachment trial, a feat made even more difficult by House Democrats' refusal to release the articles of impeachment. But they've been pretty busy regardless, approving dozens of President Donald Trump's nominees to various courts, largely remaking the American judicial system. The Washington Post reported this, that a staggering 25% of circuit court judges, 1 in every 4 on the bench, are now Trump appointees, cementing the president's legacy and making a good on one of Trump's top campaign promises, actually.
Yeah.
When Trump took office, 9 of the nation's 13 circuit courts were dominated by Democratic appointees. Now 7 of them have Republican majorities. The New York Post reports Trump had 50 of his circuit court judges confirmed, far more than any other recent president at this point in his first term. President Barack Obama managed just half of that number, 25 in the same exact time frame.
Well, Obama left him that void. Mm-hmm. He really had to fill it. It was left that way to him. Indictments are coming.
All right, Adam Schiff. This guy's done. This guy is done, man. So again, with that guy, he's a House Intelligence Committee. When Nunes had this like crazy awakening so now we know like Devin Nunes, which is the Republican Intelligence Committee at the time, saw things because they were both on the oversight. They were the few that had access out of the whole traditional members of Congress, a couple from each side. And they're supposed to be overlooking the FISA, the FBI's abuse, all that. And they have a little bit more access to the intelligence side of things. Well, Nunes reads something that totally bothers him about this lawyer guy removing things. He runs over to the White House that Sunday morning, and then that's when I think they made him step down. Adam Schiff was calling for it. This is bullcrap, and I think everything was done just fine. And then it all comes out, and then he's on the news saying, well, we just found out about this. And it's like, well, how is Nunes right? He's on the same committee as you are. Is it because Nunes is reading things and you just refuse to? And if that's the case, then what are you doing? And how are you finding out the exact same day that we are?
Right, exactly.
You're on the oversight committee type thing, It would be like, us on the, the old Legion back in the day, on the executive board and looking at the finances and then acting baffled when the place is bankrupt and not, it's like every meeting you get to look at the finance. Well, I'm just saying, you're finding out when we're shutting the doors today. It's like, didn't you maybe know a week before anybody? Man. And if that's the case, this guy just needs to go, because you could act like you didn't know, that's one thing, but you went around for 2 years pitching this opposite narrative. Well, I didn't know, so I was wrong. But if you didn't know, you didn't have to be wrong. You could have just shut up.
Right.
There's a couple different ways there, people. We see through you. Big time.
Well, it's a big... How's that phrase go? It's a big web we weave, huh? And so many people are involved in this, and it's not the agencies. It's personnel. It's not
entire rank and file.
Right.
It never is. It's always.
And the bad thing is, it's all the higher echelon. Every bit of it.
The captain of a ship can steer it right into. The storm.
It. That's where they're going to, the storm, man. That's great. Fantastic.
So homelessness is on the rise. I like to take a minute here on around this time of year. It's an issue every day, but I know it's colder in lots of states. A new report from the Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, Housing and Urban Development, on Friday revealed that homelessness is on the rise in the U.S. and that the Democratic-controlled California is the main force behind the overall increase of homelessness population in the United States. While the rest of the country experienced a combined decrease in homelessness in 2019, significant increases in unsheltered and chronic homelessness on the West Coast, particularly California and Oregon, offset those nationwide decreases, causing an overall increase in homelessness of 2.7%. Yeah. So even though it went down in all other states, those two are able to pick it back up a little bit.
Pop it back up.
And there's videos surfacing of it's not just homelessness, it's derangement, like serious mental illness going on. Cars are driving down. These people are, I mean, it's like, it's not just traditional homelessness that we're thinking. It's like they're on this bath salts and stuff, like going crazy. I don't know.
You got to feel sorry for them. I know I do. Even though most of them make the choice to be that.
Well, yeah, and it's like we always say it. You know, you don't become homeless overnight. Typically, I mean, you do. I mean, when the notice gets on the door or you're booted out, that happens overnight. But I'm saying the process up to that,
Right.
It takes a whole series, sometimes typically of mistakes, sometimes years or months, and then it finally happens. And typically those right around you don't feel sorry for you because they saw that happening and all the bad choices one made. And that's why they, you know, family would, you don't have any family? Nah, they want nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Well, they saw you blow through $100,000, and it was, you know, it's always sometimes these stories is, not all right. I'm not wrapping it up everybody in one thing, but, no, it is. It's
Take the money they're wasting in government and, you know, buy them houses, big, like apartment complexes or something. They throw money away all the time.
when I first got into the service, out in one of these big cities, you know, Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
There was homeless. Almost everyone was a vet. It seemed like. I was like, damn, what the hell? You know, I'm in right now. Is this what this is, you know, but no, it's typically the wars that these older vets had been through and things that, you know, I didn't get all that at the time when I first right in, but, it seemed to be like like that could have been, you know, like that's what I was looking forward to, being homeless soon, you know, because, you know, it seemed like to be a common thread.
Well, that's what you witnessed.
Yeah, so I saw a lot of, and then I was giving out change every time, and somebody older that had been out there a few years, like, man, you can't do that. You're gonna go broke. You don't make enough, and if you give to every single person that asks you, and it seems like they're all vets. He's like, that's the other thing. They're not. Some of them are lying, right? And I was like, oh man, I never thought of that. Who would lie about being a vet? That was one of my first experiences with hearing about. It's like, oh, a lot of people.
Yeah, liars don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They're liars.
Somebody's willing to lie to their own mother. Oh man, watch out.
You know it.
Watch out.
You know it.
All right, let's take a look here at some Twitter. We'll do this. We're getting to the 50-minute mark. We'll look at a few. We'll do some trolling here, and then we'll take a few, you know, do some shout outs, and we'll wrap this up because I got some things to get going on.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not leaving.
I love that. I love that.
Some people didn't. It's not for everybody. I mean, just like this one wasn't for everybody, all right? Is that real? Most likely not. It's not, all right? Dear Madame Speaker, and frankly, and he goes into this whole thing, but if on this side it spells something. Something not very nice. And, oh, this is cool here.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
Somebody sent me that, not the picture. That's actually my hand. That's on you know, on my tree right now. That's very cool. Very cool. It's a beautiful day. Mm-hmm. All these screaming little liberals.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not for everybody, for sure, you know.
Corny ate corn.
You
So I follow like Adam Schiff because I like to. This sentence is a continuation of the kingdom's effort to Saudi Arabia. They're talking about the journalist. Greg Rubini. Keep your eye on Stephen Halper. That guy is much more of an important than what he said in the Horowitz report. Halper is a CIA asset since 1976. Halper will be under the spotlight in the coming weeks and months. Ask Durham. And yes, Greg Rubini is back.
Ooh-wee.
Awesome. I've done some great work with this guy. He's writes some great threads. And
Beautiful.
You guys go over there and tell him I sent you.
Oh yeah, I like that United States red.
Let's see what Trump's doing here. Tax reform has delivered for workers. Tax reform has delivered for workers. 2 years later, the data shows the investment has increased with wages and jobs participation raising. This is a scandal. Don Bongino explains how John Brennan's office became ground zero in the Russian collusion scandal. Pelosi gives us most unfair trial in history of the U.S. Congress, and now she is crying for fairness in the Senate and breaking all the rules while doing so. She lost Congress once. She will do it again.
You know it.
That's right. That is
Quite correct.
great.
Quite correct. Oh, she's a nervous wreck anyhow.
Kevin McCarthy here. The FBI broke into the President Trump's campaign, spied on him, then tried to cover it up. I mean, it's great. That's exactly what happened.
Exactly.
So if I go to... And this is the kind of stuff here. So you got this guy retweeted this Kevin M. Cruz. I don't know who this guy is, but up here, Kevin McCarthy. He retweeted that little video of Kevin McCarthy saying the FBI broke into President Trump's campaign, spied on him, and tried to cover it up. The DOJ Inspector General specifically said that was not true, and you absolutely know it, but you're just going to lie anyway. And then I'm like, when you find out that that transmission the FBI got was fraudulent from the foreign-friendly government, then you will spin it some more, huh? The whole damn thing was a sham. From the very, very beginning of it, and it will show you. Then everything after that is trash. You'll see. Learn something. Read the FISA release.
Yeah.
That's the issue with these people. They don't tell you, or they don't read anything.
They don't want to.
Hell no, they don't. They want to just talk and hear themselves talk.
Act ignorant to the fact.
Woo.
Woo-hoo.
Min. What the heck is this called? I didn't know you were recently traveling, Woodman.
I love you too, Michael.
Woo.
What
in the hell is this?
Shaved legs, high heels. You got it going on, man.
What in the...
Don't bend over in front of him.
What did you make me watch, Woodman?
Well,
What did you make me watch? Aish, ish, oosh. That's crazy.
insanity.
Something ain't right. What in the world? All the messages are just now coming in. Oh, yeah.
You know it.
Something wrong in the world today. Just don't know what it is. All right. It's starting to get glitchy on us. So let's, let me shut something down. Let me figure out that. Give us a minute here, folks.
Well, this is a lot to chew. If you're not red pilled already, this is a lot to, you know.
Must be a new Gillette commercial, he says. He wears short shorts.
Yeah, you know it. He shaved his legs and everything for the, you know.
A major league switch hitter.
That's too much, man.
Dude's
Monday, Monday, Friday.
Dude kind of was businessy, but kind of was, it's like the old mullet, you know, party in the front and, or party in the back and business in the front. Business in the front and party in the back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
God, man.
Jeez.
It's Monday.
Business. A man's coat with short skirt and high heels. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. The airport smells like Walmart.
Oh, boy.
No, that ain't right. Watch your face.
Oh, man. Far from the correct way to, Guy's in the airport, man.
What restroom does he use?
Yeah.
Anyone he wants, I guess. I'm sure.
guess.
Like, he just points to that, you know. Ugh. Not normal.
Not at all.
I mean, and in that method, like, you think you just go all the way one way or whatever. He's like, I'm unsure. It's kind of like, I'm going to wear shorts and a sweater. You know? You know what I'm saying? Are you cold or hot?
He wore the suit jacket to be professional looking.
Yeah. It's like, imagine him at the table. You're signing deals. Like, man, this guy's, you know, and he stands up. Adjust myself. Oh, my God, sir. Is that a squirt? Squirts.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Major league switch hitter.
That's
Business.
That's not right.
He's got a business account.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get in certain places with to have a tie on.
Sir, you're not dressed right. Just not dressed right. Not in my restroom.
Yeah.
Not in my restroom. Not on my watch. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, man.
Again, that's not for everybody. It's not for me. Even looking at it. Didn't know Woodman left the country.
Yeah. Yeah. Impressive. He shaved his legs. Impressive.
Cinnamon Coca-Cola.
Yeah, look at all that red.
Wish the first family Merry Christmas.
I think it's going to be a great Christmas year. Actually, better than last year, I think. As a whole.
Yeah, General Flynn and Roger Stone are both still facing jail time. Hopefully we can...
Well, they're going to bring Flynn back anyway, and he's not going down.
keep an eye on Clapper. Oh, man. Okay, what am I looking at? Men, what is this called? I'm going to look at some comments here because I know they're going to be great. Oh, that's disgusting. It's called gross. An escaped mental patient. It's called he walks better in hills than any of us. Women. Damn, look at that. It's like Superman in a chair. It's disgusting. Too much soy. Aunt Fred flying back to Vermont. I'm not even showing them the comments. This is, I'm sorry, you guys. There you go. Superman in his chair. That's criminal. It's called gross and escaped mental. Aunt Fred flying back to Vermont.
Oh boy.
He works for my company. This is called Fayad. A troubled soul. It's called weird. Ooh, you don't want to know. Caution, attention, whoring in progress. Oh man, it's called mental illness. The penalty for losing your fantasy football league. It's called WTF.
Yeah.
All right, that's we'll leave that alone. We'll leave it alone. All right, let's it's just wrong, they said. All right, let's take a few let's do a check-in. I love that. See where you guys are all coming from today. And it's always a good time. So if you want to shout out, put where you're coming from, the state at least, or country, state. If you want to get real technical, give us all the way down to your address. Not joking. Don't do that. Just give city. Get that shout out. That is wrong. That is wrong. Tamara Starnes. Vision. Oh my. They're coming out the woodwork.
Merry Cumas. All right.
They're coming out the woodwork. BB dripping. Oklahoma's in the house, and Tampa, Kansas, Edwards, Texas baby, Annie Oakley.
Florida.
Nevada, Kevin Rogers. Jay Berwick, Buford, Georgia. Make this a little smaller. It's jumping all around on us. There we go. Is it up top? Maybe it's better. Pennsylvania. William Smarsh, Bob Bot Hunter. Arrest come before charges. Sometimes, yeah, you could be arrested. Well, we're talking about being put away. Charges, court hearings, being found guilty. Charges or arrests do come off proposed charges or indictments, right? That's what indictments would be.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So, no, you're correct. A lot of times people are let out after that initial arrest too, aren't they? Unless you have enough solid evidence and certain crimes, they won't be let out.
Well, you could always hide that thing with your boot.
Man, that keeps wanting to go to that end. So Utah Mountains, Betsy Donis, Arizona is in the house. Stefan Braro, MAGA country, Loving, Texas, currently in Corsicana, Texas. Raggedy Man. Brandy Lee. Las Vegas, Nevada, Tim Combs. Houston, Kenneth. Charlotte, North Carolina, Q+. I heard one dude say John Brennan is going to get Taj Mahal of jail time, and the other dude's Ed. Oh. Man, what is all that? Jackson, Michigan, Howie. War is a racket. It is. War is orchestrated. War is created.
Yes, it is.
I mean, no soldiers ever start the war. It's always the politicians, isn't it?
Yep.
Failed talks. Or whatever,
You'll do what we say over there. I'm going to send my neighbor's kid over. I'm keep mine at home.
Laredo, Texas, border city. Where's the cartel? Terry Villarreal. Zetas rule across the border. All I want for QMIS is a high-profile arrest. On the first day of Christmas.
Hey, it is coming, though. We're watching it. Kind of like that. Slowly I turn, step by step. Let's make all the steps correct so we can't lose them.
Well, and that's the other thing. I mean,
if you do it wrong, you throw the whole thing out, which might involve
military tribunals are secret if they want them to be, if they're not public. If it's classified stuff, you'll only find out if they want us to. That happens as well sometimes. I mean, this stuff isn't going to be private. It's not going to be all public for crimes and then private at the last minute. That'd be ridiculous. Yeah. So we are getting it, folks. If you think this is normal by any means, not in my lifetime anyway. I haven't seen any kind of presidential dispute.
Not like this.
Not like this. Not for 3.5 years, and just trying to finally to a point of where they want to remove him so bad that they put an impeachment without actually crimes. Whoa.
Yeah.
What they wrote down for him, presidents all the way back to George Washington, could have been
accused of. Yeah, it's all fabrication. They had to do that to save their butt, and it was way too late.
So the minute something comes bigger that they're going to try to jump to, then she's going to throw the impeachment in, like, nah! And then it'll like muffle up something more. That's what they're hoping. Like, our last thing is to hold this, and then when he tries to bring charges, we'll throw this, and then it'll show the people that because of the impeachment, he's trying to arrest us. Yeah, I mean, that's probably the final little boo bang coming. I mean, we'll see.
Well, they got to try it. They got to try all kinds of angles. They have to, and they got to make it stick. Otherwise, they're trying to save their neck.
And we're not writing this story; we're following it. So we don't, we're hearing Durham won't be wrapped up till spring or summer. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is really going to lead us right into the elections. But
a lot to cover. I mean, there's a lot to cover.
A lot of process.
Yeah, like I say, you have to do it correct. Make sure you got everything all correct before you submit it, because, like I said, one thing might lead to to 20, and if you get rid of that one thing, you kick 20 of them out, and we don't want that.
Yeah, that was the other thing I went to get into. And I've been doing a lot of research. I got access to all military bases. I can go to Gitmo. I can get on, and some other people as well. I mean, media is allowed, but even the ones that are secret or deemed at a certain point, classified, they are filmed, and eventually up to them, they can be released. So, and that's why some of this stuff is, in the end, the choice is yours. One thing leads to another. It's all going to lead to things that aren't for everybody. And they also have, what I did a video on yesterday is this whole process in the last few years with Durham and everyone else. They're also having to divvy up crimes, what goes where, what gets heard where. They have to be, there's panels that have been put together specifically to figure out, everything's got to be done right. Process. It's a bunch of process. Oh, we got a super chat.
All right, fantastic.
Shumi up R8R. Shumove up. Smooth operator. Operator.
All right.
I got it. Smooth operator. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Okay, I say we shut her down, Woodman, and we got a good hour and 10-minute show here with a great stream. We'll be back. We're actually, we need to get some things done. We're going to be doing probably a show at the Legion here soon. I don't know when. Maybe like Friday or something. We'll plan on something. Just a little early morning thing like we've been, trying to pull off.
Right.
Which can be. So we're going to be doing more testing. Yeah, Ben should be, he has some time off this week as well. So expect him, I'm sure, on a show here coming up. We got Woodman today. We'll have Woodman on the next one. Again, maybe tomorrow morning we'll do a live show. I plan on doing some episodes tomorrow. Even though it's Christmas Eve, we'll ring it in together and get you some information out. All right. Again, Woodman, anything to... You want to add?
No, not really. All I have to say is everybody, this is Christmas, holidays, family time. Please, everybody, enjoy it. It's also cold. If you know any elderly people that are, like, you might need to bring them a meal, some blankets possibly, whatever it takes, think about that too. We're all going to get old someday. We need somebody to take care of us. So, no, that's about all. And stay alert. We learned this in the military. As soon as you move around in life, the first thing you have to always be aware of your surroundings. And I can't stress that enough, especially now with things going on the way they are. So, that's all I got to share. And God bless everybody, and pray, pray, pray. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for following. If you guys knew just how much Mike puts into this stuff, you'd probably send him a little trophy or something. You know, he's doing a great job.
We do it for the Patriots, so no worries. Thank you guys so much. And again, like Woodman said, stay vigilant. And if you see something, say something. You know, us veteran droids like that, looking for the exit, knowing where the exit's at, man, it's just a good thing to, you know, most of you would probably do the same when you get into these high-packed places, which I try to avoid. But you know, have your game plan for you and your family. Always be thinking ahead, and stay safe. Again, if you're out with family over the holidays, if you're drinking, you know, don't be driving. If you're driving, don't be drinking. And stay safe. Again, just that's the most important thing. Stay safe and stay aware. Check in here time to time. Leave a comment. We appreciate it. Make sure you are subscribed. Think about joining. We appreciate it. And again, we are heavily shadow banned. Some people are like, oh, I saw an ad finally. Well, most of the time the ads get put on. If it's 100% good video for me to own and there's nothing copyrighted in it, it's shadow banned and just not worth it. If I put one little clip of some, you know, well-known artist song in there, boom, they jump on it. It's all well to be, you know, hey, this video has been copyrighted and we're going to be putting ads on it so that person can make some money. And I'm like, geesh. So that's why I actually throw a song on sometimes. I know with the little song, it's getting promoted. They want that artist supposedly to make money, so therefore the video gets seen. It's little games that us creators play sometimes, folks. That's all that it boils down to try to stay out of their little algorithm punch. So doesn't always work, but hey, we try. Same with the music. You know, the music sometimes in the videos, it just helps beat up the algorithm. Fox is getting bad. I can't even show a clip to you guys. I want to show you a little clip here. Bam, you know, blocked worldwide. Why? There's unbelievable. But hey, we make do.
Yep.
All right, you guys have a good one. Sign off.
Everybody.
Thank you for being here.
God bless you all.
Love all the Patriots. You guys have a great afternoon into your evening, and I'll probably get something else out sometime this evening. So stand by for that, and we'll see you back here real soon.
So it is to the printing press, to the recorder of man's deeds, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive.